Welcome back to Pianobook. This week, an absolute bumper edition. Lots going on, lots to share, lots of exciting films, and me going on the road. See, my very earliest ambitions for Pianobook was to actually come out and meet a lot of you in person, to hear your piano stories, to meet your pianos, and to help you sample them. And this, I'm delighted to say, is my first outing, Pianobook on the road. I'm currently in Manchester to meet Max, who's got a real gem to show us. Max?
Hello mate, how's it going?
Very good, it's good to see you at long last.
Yeah, nice to finally meet you. Come in.
Wow, what a lovely room. How long have you been working here for?
About coming up 4 years. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. This is kind of perfect.
Yeah, it's underground but with a window, so it's kind of, I'm tucked away but not completely away.
That's nice. And also, having the screen on the same wall as the window can be problematic, but I imagine with a small window like that, it's...
Yeah, I mean, usually the angle, the kind of screen mainly blocks it, but... yeah.
Brilliant stuff. But I suspect to my left is why we're here.
Yes,
oh, she's a beauty, isn't she? Absolutely fantastic. So Max, how did you come by this beautiful beast of a piano?
I used to work with another composer called Alistair Adams, and we saw it was like a notice in the local post office saying free piano with a number, and we went over to this. It was this really lovely old lady actually who said she was kind of too old to play anymore.
Right.
Wanted to go to a good home. Yeah, we had a tinkle on it, and it was like massively out of tune. It was like covered in dust, had like weird ornaments on it and stuff. But it was I could just tell immediately it was like it had a special
personality.
Yeah. As cliched as it sounds, but it really...
No. These things have a life. They echo every single player who's played them, and there's no denying that at all.
And I think it dates to about mid 50s. My piano tuner said about 50s. So it's got some history in it, and and it just lives here now. And
fantastic, such beautiful form factor. Really kind of my kind of aesthetic. Yeah. And how does it sound? Do you want to give it just a quick tinkle? Fantastic. Such a beautiful mellow sound, but characterful as well. And I like where it's sat tuning wise. Now, matching microphones with instruments for me is like matching wines. You've got to have something that's complementary, with your wine, with your food. If it's rich, you have a rich wine and stuff. So I'm really pleased to hear the Bentley because I bought a Coles. Do you know why it's called a Coles?
No, I do not.
Basically, two guys who worked at the BBC, one was called Colin and one was called Les. I kid you not. And then just being super safe with a pair of 414s, which never really bring anything to the party other than basically what it sounds like. So I've also been a really good boy. I basically put together this air piano that I recorded upright. And what I've realised, it's quite an old piano, the one that we recorded, is the piano is so idiosyncratic that the lack of samples basically means that there's a repetition that's actually quite annoying at times about it. It sounds absolutely amazing. So I thought for this, we'd honour it with a slightly deeper sampled kind of MVP template. So I've been a good boy on the train. I've made something that I calculate is going to take us an hour to sample it. So it's 3 round robins, 2 dynamic layers, and more notes. So we're going to go up in major triads. Right, so let's have a quick look at this MVP template in all of its kind of rainbowy glory.
Quieter layer. C0. And?
So we've got the C0, but instead of it just moving straight on to the next note, we've got 3 round robins here. So we've got an off, 1, 2, 3.
Off.
And you'll see also we're going up in kind of quite a bizarre set of triads. I don't know why I settled on that, but it's basically a major third and then a minor third up all the way up the keyboard. And then we've got our louder content here as before, but again with the round robins. So we've got our release triggers.
Release triggers. C0. And off.
I've got 3 round robins for these as well.
And off.
And this is where in Manchester I came up with the concept of the tuned and untuned release triggers. So the first one I did was the one with the afterglow, the actual notes singing slightly within the cabinet of the piano, and then the next two were untuned release triggers. So I'm looking forward to working out how I can best use these different techniques to, again, just add to the reality of the thing that we've sampled. And then onto pedals.
Okay, now for pedal noises. And, on, and, off.
There we go. Just future-proofing for someone showing me how to do round robins on the pedal. And then finally, the wild track.
Wild track, hold still for a few seconds.
And there we're done at the end. So we then sat down to kind of discuss the way I approach sampling these instruments. I think to play a piano softly requires effort, and to play a piano loudly requires effort. And there's an absolute kind of pH neutral point of literally what you do when you... I've listened to pianos so often now, I hear them like trumpets, so they have super kind of breathy bit, then they have their middle warm bit, and then they have the brassy bit. So I'm not interested in the brassy bit with this one. So it's about that almost choral. And then it's finding, see, that's too much. Oh, too much. You start hearing the overtones there. The more uniform you make the sample, the faker it'll sound. It's remarkable how you think by sampling it scientifically that surely is the best way. So what I also do is every note I will play with a different finger as well, which will naturally have its own different touch.
Yeah.
And I'll move to different parts of the. So this same C, I'll move. And just give it just that variety that makes it sound realistic. So with an hour sampling time to run, we sat down to enter into the wonderful hell that is sampling. Right, that's us done. It's fairly it's kind of weird, isn't it? You become like hyper aware of your environment, don't you?
Yeah. Think about your breathing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even like the noise of your hand leaving the desk is like it's going to ruin the take or something.
Brilliant stuff. So we've got a few pickups to do. Poor Max invited me down months ago, not realising how busy he was going to be. He's a testament to hanging out on forums and how they can be an excellent place to pick up work.
The minute working on some top secret stuff. One thing we are doing is we're doing a nature show for Discovery, so that's been fun to work on, and
brilliant.
Doing some live strings for it and stuff, so yeah, it's been really good.
Fantastic. Well, I'll let you get on with it. She's an absolute beaut, and glad we could have done this. We've been trying to get to do this for ages, so glad we finally got to do it. Thanks ever so much, mate.
No, it was
brilliant.
Really good, yeah.
Cheers. So join me next week where I've actually got a really long journey happening, which is ideal for all of these samples, round robins that I've got to edit and put together. So hopefully have that together for you next week, and I'll take you through my process, and I'm sure that there'll be much help needed from the community. Talking of which, there's been an amazing response to the air piano which I put up. People have been really working on it to make it a little bit less clunky, a little bit more playable, not least Stephen and Linus, who have gone in to clean up these samples. So Stephen here takes us through the microphones that he selected and how he noise reduced those.
So if you've not used RX before, there's actually two views. This is probably the view you'd probably be most used to seeing in a DAW, because it would be the sort of the amplitude view. But if you drag it over here, you actually get the frequencies. You've got the note and you've got its harmonics here, which is great. And then you've got this kind of funny, messy stuff going on. Let's just play it. So it's pretty obvious this is the click, although there's some slightly odd stuff there. Now, one of the cool things that you can do with RX is you can just take a section of the file and keep playing it and over, so you can hear exactly if it is what you want to do. So if I draw this little circle around here, and there's two play buttons. There's the play button which will start you from the playhead, and this one which will just play what's been selected. So if we play that, you can hear some of the click, Now, there are a couple of ways in which to do this. I found at the beginning of the note, particularly for these kind of things, the best thing to do was to come over here and use a spectral repair. So this is what it's going to do, is it's going to take what information it sees before this issue and after it, and kind of use that to sort of blend over. So it's sort of interpolating and removing the stuff that it didn't see before. So you can see here that you can pick how much. So you can see there's this box here that's showing how much you want to pick, and you can sort of say how you want to weight it. So if you think there's more useful information after the section or before the section, you can kind of pick how you want that to go. I'm going to leave it kind of in the middle, and then you can kind of pick a strength as to how much it's going to work. And I'm just going to go and render over the top of that, and you'll see, as if by magic, it's kind of gotten rid of that click, and we can play again, and the click is all gone from that section.
Right, I've clicked on the universally adored Boundary or Stingray mics, and if you recall, this middle region had an annoying click sample that really exposed the weakness of a very shallow sampled MVP. I can't underestimate the scale of the job, considering all of these different microphone mixes. They must have had to go in and clean each individual one. So many, many thanks for that, and absolutely stunning. I think what this piano is starting to remind me of is another piano that someone submitted on Pianobook called the English Classic, which is a late 1970s piano that many consider to be from one of the powerhouses of English piano manufacturing, Daneman, and this has been sampled by Tim. Thanks so much, Tim, for this. And it does highlight the fact that pianos are no longer manufactured in Britain. Beautifully recorded, beautifully presented, and I love what I refer to as home tuning. It's not massively out of tune like a pub piano, but it has that just, you know, it's 1970s, it's difficult to get the bottom end in tune, and it has a natural kind of home feel to it, which I absolutely adore. And remember, Pianobook isn't just about pianos, it's just a kicking off point for a more collaborative approach to sampling, whatever instrument you like, as these guys expertly demonstrate with their Toy Piano Ensemble, which is a collection of 3 toy pianos and a pool table played simultaneously by humans, and quite a large team of humans: Ted, Anthony, Scott, Nick, Chris, Tao, on March 26th, 2019. And this, for me, has become a new staple of my template. As always, the more the merrier. If you have any instruments to share, submit them in the link in the description down below. We also need demos. Remember, loads of A-listers are listening to these demos in order to make their decisions of what pianos to download. So down below are instructions of how you can submit those demos. Thanks, as always, for your contributions, for watching, and for giving us one of them. Group thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done yet already. Be churlish not to all of these goodies that are coming up, and ding that bell if you want to be notified the next time I make one of these videos. See you next time.